Hi everyone, good evening and Merry Christmas Eve to you. Thank you all for tuning in, for watching this digital check of the First Alert forecast on Atlanta News First Plus. We are, no surprise here, still tracking the holiday freeze. Temperatures never warmed above freezing this afternoon and are now cooling once again. We managed about 27 degrees at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. That was a record cold high temperature for the date, meaning on today's date at the airport, or since official records have been kept at least for the city of Atlanta. So going actually back well before the airport's founding and development. Of course, the city's thermometer has been in various locations over the past many years. It has never been as cold as it was this afternoon. We did not break a record low this morning, but 8 degrees. Very cold, and certainly one of the coldest December mornings we have had in decades. Have to go back to 1989 to find a December morning that was colder, made it to 6 degrees then, and have to go back to 2014 January to find a temperature as cold. We managed also 6 degrees back in January, early January, about the first week or so of January of 2014. So again, we're live now, keeping you updated. Have a digital check of the forecast coming up. Just want to give folks a few more seconds to join in and to get a chance to kind of tune into the forecast before we get into the nitty gritty and I get into the hour by hour forecast. Just want to make sure that nobody misses anything. And again, we are streaming across a variety of platforms right now. If you are just now tuning in, thank you for watching. I am First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here with Atlanta News First, and we're talking big cold. We're still below freezing, pushing hour 41 of temperatures at or below 32 at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Areas west and northwest of town have been below freezing even longer. In a current check of temperatures, we are back in the lower 20s. That's a new number for Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Managed 27 this afternoon. In case you missed the first few moments of the stream, that is a record low, a record high temperature, meaning record cold high temperature. Hopefully that was enough clarification for you. Basically, on this afternoon, today's date, December 24th, since records have been kept for the city of Atlanta, it has never been as cold as it was this afternoon. There has been no high temperature colder than 28 degrees before today, so that 27 is now the new December 24th record. And current temperatures right now, 17 in Blairsville, 20 in Canton Rome, 23 Gainesville, 21 already back into the upper teens in Carrollton, 24 LaGrange, Locust Grove, lower 20s Athens, Clark County, and Covington. So it is certainly very cold, not just in Atlanta. Let's bring out that view and expand the picture here. 16 in central Missouri, Camdenton in the teens as well, St. Louis into the Boone area, mountains of North Carolina, single digits in teens. Most everyone in the northern half of Texas, northern half of Louisiana, most of Mississippi, most of Alabama, northern Florida, all of Georgia, or almost all of Georgia, almost all of North Carolina, South Carolina at or below 32. So cold weather still has its grip on North Georgia and Metro Atlanta, with temperatures only peaking in the upper 20s this afternoon and have since fallen. Again, unseasonably cold air continues to impact North Georgia and in Metro Atlanta. In fact, the mountains are the coldest right now. This is a closer look at our mountain temperatures. University of North Georgia, the Dahlonega campus, down to 19. UNG Blue Ridge, 15. North end of Tucker there, Fannin County up in towards the North Carolina state line, 13. Blairsville, the north end of town, 13. 16 in Hayesville, North Carolina, that's in Clayton County. 19 in the community of Clayton, that's Rabun County. 12 in Highlands, 22 Dalton along that 75 corridor, Ball Ground, northern Cherokee County. 19, 20 US 411, US 411, that's just on the south side of Chattooga, in Chattooga proper, at 21 degrees right now, up in north and northeast Georgia, well into the low to mid-teens in many spots. And continuing to drop, here's that First Alert weather app, a good tool to have as cold air continues to dominate the forecast. To get it, all you have to do is search First Alert Weather in your app or Google Play Store. Maybe scan that QR code upper right-hand corner of your screen. If you're streaming on another device or a desktop or on your TV, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, you can scan that QR code, open up your camera roll or your camera icon on your phone and scan that, and it's a free and easy download. So we're dry tonight, obviously. Temperatures continuing to cool. To have a couple high clouds, but in general, it's mostly clear, and I think we're back into the mid and upper teens. 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, cold early morning, frigid Christmas morning by Metro Atlanta standards, and we're not above 20 until about 9 a.m. And tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be freezing once again. Temperatures back in the low to mid 30s, so barely above freezing, but nonetheless warmer than it has been. Wind chills tonight, colder than the actual air temperature, but thankfully no below zero wind chill, so it's going to be cold. But not as cold feeling as it has been. Actual high temperatures a little bit warmer, as well as the wind chill temperatures not below zero any longer, but down into the single digits tomorrow morning, and that's in Atlanta. Could still be below zero for far northern areas and for folks that are watching from the typical cold spots kind of outside of the city of Atlanta. And then we go to our Christmas Day. First alert through the morning hours as extreme cold continues. It is going to be another frigid morning tomorrow. So a heads up, you will need all of the layers out the door tomorrow morning. Another frigid morning in the forecast. 18 out the door by the time most folks are out the door in Atlanta. 32 still at noon, and that may be a little optimistic. Though, forecast a high temperature warmer than freezing into Atlanta tomorrow. That first alert, through the first half of the day, and then we're back to a more normal cold, but it's going to still be very, very chilly. Upper teens, lower 20s by the time we get to Monday morning. And that factored in with a light breeze, it could feel a little bit colder. Back to actual thermometer temperatures, low temps for the city of Atlanta. Going about 17 southwest side, the south side, inside the perimeter as well. Beaufort, Sugar Hill, North Gwinnett, 16, 15 in Smyrna, 16 in Roswell. Some of those north side communities could be back in the mid-teens. So 10 degrees in Blairsville. That's frigid. Once again, verging on single digits. You were in the single digits, closer to zero this morning. 13 Dalton. 14 in Canton, 14 in Carrollton, 16 Covington, 17 LaGrange. So cold, and that might be putting it lightly, a freezing start to our Christmas morning. It is going to be absolutely freezing, not just Metro Atlanta, not just North Georgia, but much of the south and the southeast. Chatting on Facebook, happy holidays to you, Lonnie Hopkins, watching from Conyers. Angel Iron says Christmas 2002 we had snow. I bet you did, but thankfully temperatures were warmer. It doesn't have to be all that cold to get some snow. Warmer then, but glad you had some snow. Christmas 2002. And Joseph Lee Flash Connor, Merry Christmas. We're watching from afar. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you as well. Again, back in Atlanta, live look, Midtown, downtown. Too light to see any stars, but if you were outside and away from the city, you might see them this evening. Temperatures are cold, but the sky mostly clear, so it's pretty evening. It's just abnormally cold. And Hakeem Satterfield commenting on the Atlanta News First Plus YouTube page, Atlanta News First YouTube page. That's the account to like and follow if you want to contribute to the weather conversation, saying unusual weather these days. Absolutely, we're breaking records. Temperatures now in Atlanta below freezing for nearly 40 hours, and by the time all is said and done, closer to 72 hours in Atlanta, and I think some folks below freezing for more than 72 hours, perhaps more than 80 hours up in the mountains of North Georgia. But there is improvement on the way. Again, another freezing one tomorrow, well below freezing. It's going to take some time to get out of this cold blast, but gradual improvement is on the way. We will check out that 7-day forecast. Actually, before we get to the 7-day, let's hop back to tonight. If you do have plans to look at Christmas lights, as many folks do, December 24th, going and making hot chocolate, maybe running by your favorite coffee shop and getting that hot treat. Get it extra hot because it's freezing. Make sure you wear all the layers, and hopefully your car doesn't have any tire issues, battery issues. I know low tire pressure and some battery issues the past few days with temperatures as cold as they have been. Temperatures continuing to drop right on schedule here in the lower 20s at 8 p.m. and verging on upper teens a little later this evening. But hey, it's dry. Roads for the most part good conditions, aside from any broken water mains and pipes and stuff like that contributing to some slick spots. Actual main travel lanes tend to be good across all of North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Now for that improvement, here we go. 7-day forecast. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon forecast to get above freezing in Atlanta. That's a start, right? But we're back to near 20 by Monday. High temperature Monday afternoon, upper 30s, lower 40s. So well above freezing. Good news. Compared to what it has been, it'll be warmer, but compared to what normal is and what we're used to in this area, 42 and 20, still very cold numbers for the Monday after Christmas. And I do think there will be more clouds around on Monday the 26th. And I also think that there could be some sprinkles, perhaps a few flurries, especially north of Metro Atlanta. So we're going to keep that 20% chance of some sprinkles or flurries, maybe a few sleet pellets, mainly north of Atlanta as we go into the day. Monday, 48 Tuesday, 55 on Wednesday. Here comes the real nice weather, at least for a bit. 60 degrees Thursday afternoon, and then we warm up even further, but with the cost of rain and kind of gloomy, stormy weather in the forecast Friday. Mainly late in the day, some spotty rain. I still think Friday is an overall decent day for the plans, but harder to plan around the rain as we get into Saturday. And we'll be watching the setup, and it looks like if it does trend any wetter, if it looks like the day is going to be a washout, of course, we'll add that first alert, give you the extra heads up, letting you know that you may have to adjust your plans. So again, we'll kind of start back, recap what we're talking about this evening. Before we do that, I want to say hello to folks watching on Atlanta News First, the YouTube page. Also, maybe you are watching on Facebook, Atlanta News First. Both of those accounts, all you have to do is search Atlanta News First, like in the banner below. You're watching Atlanta News First Plus, but we're streaming on our Atlanta News First Facebook and YouTube accounts. Also, Roku, Amazon Fire, AtlantaNewsFirst.com. We're live in the News app and the Weather app, a lot of places. But if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, YouTube and Facebook are the places to be. And YouTube, we did have that one comment from Hakeem saying the weather's been pretty unusual. Absolutely. It remains very cold, unseasonably cold across much of North Georgia, all of North Georgia, and much of the south and southeast. And checking in on Facebook, Merry Christmas to you, Ruth Taveras del Rosario. Hello to you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We're tracking a holiday freeze, big time cold in the forecast. I want to let you know that it's loosening its grip ever so slightly and gradually, but cold is still our weather story of the evening, still is the impact through the rest of this holiday weekend. Jumping back to that 7-day, though, we do have improvement on the way. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon with loads of sunshine after a freezing start on a Christmas morning. It will warm up, 36 on Sunday afternoon, 42 Monday afternoon, more clouds, kind of a gloomier looking Monday, and can't rule out some sprinkles, a few sleet pellets, maybe some snow flurries, mainly north of Metro Atlanta. No accumulation is forecast, not looking like a big impact here, but you may see some stuff, floating around in the sky. May feel that sprinkle, that sleet pellet as you go out and about your day on Monday, and then we're up to 48 Tuesday, 55 Wednesday, 60 Thursday. Now, to everyone watching, and we're going to talk more about this tonight on Atlanta News First at 11. We already have had some ruptured pipes, some water main breaks. We've already had some issues with pipes breaking. However, I think more will notice pipes breaking as we warm back up, because think about the reason behind the breakage. The water in the line has frozen, ice expands. There's only so much space in the pipe, so the pipe is forced to expand. It eventually breaks, cracks. Sometimes it's just a hairline crack. Sometimes it's a complete, fracture or break. But the water in it is still frozen, so you don't notice water spewing out everywhere until it thaws. So you may notice, unfortunately, even folks watching this stream that may have no water issues this evening, I would think you probably would notice if your pipes have frozen with water pressure. That's not to say, that it's a certainty. Nonetheless, there is a possibility that as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and things begin to thaw, that you could have water spewing out of some of those pipes that may have gone unnoticed, especially the outdoor pipes like Christmas, maybe those Christmas lawn gifts, so those early presents you got for you, your household, the sprinkler systems that may have been put in, or if you already have a sprinkler system, those pipes are outdoors, a little harder to know if they've frozen or not. Also the pool equipment, things like that, you may notice as temperatures warm back up Monday, Tuesday, that they become more of an issue. Ralph Corelli saying, can we make snow if I throw water out the 23rd floor? With a laughing face saying, live upstairs, Merry Christmas to you. Glad you have some humor out of this. It might have been cold enough last night to do the whole boiling water, throw it up in the air, and it, instantly freezes, though that was a little marginal, but I would not suggest throwing it off the 23rd floor balcony, because you hope it's cool enough to not harm anybody there walking down the sidewalk by the time it gets down there. But no, and no, Ralph, it wouldn't be a spray bottle. It would have to be very hot water, and it would have to be probably colder than it is right now. As miserable as it is outside, it have to be a little bit colder to ensure that it's not going to be an issue. So no, Ralph, no spray bottle. You would need boiling water, not out of a spray bottle. You would not make snow. You're just going to be standing out on the 23rd floor balcony, miserably cold, and you get a whole lot of nothing out there this evening. So stay inside, Ralph Corelli. Atlanta News First conversation on the YouTube page, rather, and just enjoy the heat. No sense in trying to make snow, because that method is not going to work. Yeah, Ralph Corelli saying, my wife said come inside. She is the smart one in this. I'm going to have to take her side in this argument. Make sure you get inside. Don't waste your time freezing yourself outside. Again, we're chatting on Facebook as well. Ruth, good holiday to you. Merry Christmas. Michael Baxter, hello. Watching Atlanta News First. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you as well. And again, live look outside. Mostly clear. We have some stars up in the sky. You know, if you're away from the city, you'd probably see those. And temperatures are freezing outside right now. Ralph Corelli on YouTube. Good evening to you. Merry Christmas. Appreciate the banter and the comments, and always good to have a weather conversation, right, any time of day, but especially on Christmas Eve as we have some pretty festive weather out there. Love it or hate it, it is freezing. Back to current temperatures: 22 Hartsfield-Jackson, Atlanta International Airport, 19 in Carrollton, 16 in Blairsville, 21 in LaGrange, 23 in Rome. And it is going to continue to get colder overnight tonight. Again, temperatures back into the teens here before too long. So first alert, all the layers, you need them all to stay warm, stay safe this evening. Actual temperatures back into the upper teens in Atlanta, you know, about midnight or so, midnight 1 a.m. and back into the mid to upper teens, 5, 6, 7 o'clock out the door Christmas morning. If you're having to get up early, go to grandma's, you have maybe an early breakfast, early present opening. All the layers, hopefully you parked in the garage, because it is absolutely freezing outside. Back up to 21 by 9 a.m. tomorrow, and some good news in the forecast. Not going to be a warm Christmas 2022, but it will be warmer than it has been, with a high temperature of 36 in East Point, 35 Douglasville, 34 in Smyrna, just above freezing north side. Not enough to really even thaw things all that much. Marietta, Sandy Springs, Alpharetta 34, 36 Atlanta and Decatur, Gwinnett, DeKalb counties, temperatures in the mid 30s, just above the freezing mark. So technically, yes, for the first time, and by that point, nearly 60 hours, the city of Atlanta will be back above freezing, but barely so. It's going to be a nice day. You just need to wear all the layers. It's going to be really cold. Light breeze will make those 30s feel like 20s even in the middle of the afternoon. We'll have sunshine, though. But let's roll through that hour-by-hour forecast. Again, we'll talk about some of the changes as we go into Monday, the day after Christmas. You may notice some changes up in the sky. Again, beginning this evening, temperatures back in the lower 20s, and then we're back in the upper teens as we get into Christmas morning. Low to mid-teens, verging on single digits. Many spots up in the mountains of North Georgia could wake up to some high clouds, and like today, like this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, we'll feature some high wispy clouds moving through. Temperatures, basically the I-20 corridor, metro, the immediate metro on south above freezing. But if you live in Blairsville, if you live in Dalton, Ivy Log, Helen, I should say, and you know, the Clayton County area in North Carolina, just naming out some spots here at higher elevations. It'll be colder. Temperatures could remain below freezing tomorrow, and they certainly will fall back below freezing very quickly. I mean, we're going to get above freezing even in Atlanta, 1, 2, 3 hours max, and then like that, as soon as the sun angle gets lower, as you're having maybe Christmas supper with the family, enjoying opening evening gifts, coffee around the dinner table with the loved ones, it is going to get cold very, very quickly once again, back into the upper 20s, lower 30s as soon as the sun sets. And later Christmas evening temperatures back in the mid-20s in Atlanta, and I think upper teens, lower 20s the rule Monday morning. But notice the changes. We have some clouds moving in, and by 9 a.m. Monday, we're going to cloud over just a little bit, and notice on this particular forecast model, we do have some flurries and maybe some very light snow into Rome, Dalton, Blairsville, Clayton, Canton. Just one run of one forecast model, but I think it is entirely possible that we'll have some flurries, some sprinkles, maybe some sleet pellets trying to build south to I-20 as we get into the day after Christmas afternoon. That's Monday afternoon, with temperatures above freezing. So not forecasting much of an accumulation, and I think it will be very, very light. So even in the spots that do remain pretty cold, and as we get into our Monday afternoon, though everyone is forecast to get above freezing. We're not worried about roadway conditions. We're not too worried about any sort of negative impact there, but maybe something to talk about, maybe some water cooler talk type of weather as we get into our Monday after Christmas, because can't rule out some flurries, sleet pellets, some sprinkles, but again, not forecast to be any sort of big issue, just something we're watching. In fact, I'll go ahead and pull back up that 7-day forecast, and you'll notice that we only have about a 20% chance of those sprinkles, those flurries, those sleet pellets Monday, with high temperatures well above freezing. So not really worried about any sort of accumulation or slick roadways Monday. We are back below freezing Monday night. It's wrapped up, it's done by then, and I don't think much of accumulation, not enough to even get things wet on our Monday. And then Tuesday 48, 55 Wednesday, 60 Thursday, low to mid 60s, much warmer, but at the cost of rain and gloomy weather and a risk of thunderstorms New Year's Eve and a New Year's Day. Could be a little bit stormy bringing in 2023, so we'll be watching that possibility. But do want to bring you back to our Monday. Again, the next system to watch, but I don't think it's a big impact. That is going to be on our Monday. We'll zip on through until we get into Monday. There we are, morning clouds increasing 5, 6, 7 a.m. with temperatures in the upper teens and lower 20s. Very quickly, we'll warm up through the 20s into the lower 30s. And here we are at noon, some sleet pellets, snow flurries, sprinkles, liquid rain possible as we get into the kind of middle portion of our Monday. Tanya Belcher on Atlanta News First, the YouTube page, has a question or comment. Last night with the high wind, I saw green and blue light in the sky. I thought it was a power flash, but with the green and blue light, why does it do that? Tanya, that is just basically, you know, the electrical light is blue. You have a transformer blowing. It's trying to get the line back working again. You'll have this in high winds a lot. So this probably was the night of the 23rd going into the 24th. Or sorry, the night of the 22nd going to the 23rd when the front blew through. You know, it'll spark, and it's nighttime when you really notice this, so it just glows because it's a lot of electricity, that electrical light having that bluish tint, sometimes greenish tint, depending on what the atmospheric profile is. If there are any other clouds, anything that will reflect and refract the light. But Tanya, it was just a transformer blowing as the winds were arcing through it. You know, it just shocks, basically, from what I understand, and it tries to get the lines going. Sometimes they can blow when they do that. And that's why you get kind of that bluish arcing light, Tanya. So pretty normal. It does happen. High winds especially, like we had the night of the 22nd going into the 23rd. Going to go ahead and call it quits for this stream. No worries, though, if you still need to check out the forecast at AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Also, we will be live tonight at 11 talking more Christmas weather, all of the big cold. If you can't stay up for the late newscast, just go to AtlantaNewsFirst.com, click on the First Alert weather page. Full outlook is there for you also in the Atlanta News First news app and the First Alert weather app. Ryan Laird, you're very welcome. Thank you for watching. Again, Merry Christmas. Michael Baxter, Ruth Tavares, Del Rosario, Joseph Lee Flash Connor, Angel Iron. Merry Christmas, Lonnie. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays and Conyers. Again, thank you for watching, everybody. Going to go ahead and wish you all a good evening. This is the last time I'll speak with you this evening on ANF Plus, Atlanta News First Plus. Thanks for streaming the forecast. Have a wonderful evening. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Not done with the news yet, though. Full forecast news coverage as well. Working on some weather-related stories that are impacting some folks across North Georgia. Thank you for watching. And again, we're streaming live again at 11 p.m. We'll leave you with a beautiful Christmas Eve shot of Midtown Atlanta. Have a wonderful evening.